It's called Shadow Sovereigns, How Transnational Corporations Are Taking Power. And the idea of this book was to explain different ways in which the corporations operate to insert themselves, to infiltrate various functions of government. So I start off with ordinary lobbies, just how do they do it, what are the techniques, what are some examples, what's the situation in Europe where we don't have a binding code, that sort of thing. Then a kind of mega lobby in which all corporations from one industry come together. It could be food companies, it could be pharmaceutical companies. Any sector will have its own center or foundation or institute. They give these very neutral names to it, but it's a group lobby that is going to try to get for the whole industry what they want, and those have become quite powerful. And then the center of the book is a long chapter about the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, the famous TTIP between the United States and Europe. And this is a case study, it's a long case study of how you can take over the judiciary with the investor-to-state dispute resolution function, where you can, if you're a corporation, you have the right to sue a government. This begins with bilateral treaties, and it has been taken up in a big way in the TTIP negotiations, and how you can take over the legislature through regulatory cooperation, as they call it, but which puts the companies in a position to actually decide what the regulations are going to be, and which I think also invades the executive branch of a democracy, because if you are threatened with so many lawsuits every time you pass a decent law for labor or for the environment or for people's welfare and health and so on, you can be sued. And I think that this freezes the executive initiative, particularly in smaller and weaker countries which are not able to withstand lawsuits for literally billions of dollars. And then I moved to the international level with the invasion of the United Nations and many of its specialized agencies, and then the Davos level, which is a completely new thing. Not many people know about the Global Redesign Initiative, in which Davos is really deciding with groups, study groups, so to speak, or thematic groups around about 80 different subjects. They're simply saying, states don't work anymore, multilateralism doesn't work, it's not efficient, we are efficient, we are going to study what's needed, and then we'll see, then we'll try to, but now they are beginning to put into practice the reports of some of these groups. So that's an ongoing story, which I hope Tia and I will follow up on, because it's something that's really going to change the landscape, I think. Move states out and bring power into what used to be state functions, but since we have so little democracy at the international level, there's a kind of entry point there for them via Davos, which I think is going to be extremely dangerous. I think a book is important when it tells you what is going to change in your daily life, among other things, and this one explains exactly what, for example, the treaty can change. It can change what you eat, it can change your health conditions, it can change your salary and your working conditions, it can enter into the day-to-day business of a government and challenge it if it doesn't suit the largest corporations. And I would like to say I am not talking here about small and medium enterprise. In fact, I think they are victims of exactly the same process. It's the huge transnationals that have been preparing this for 20 years. They know what they want. They have been working together in the Transatlantic Business Dialogue and other formats of that sort, so that they have become, and they say it, we are, the Transatlantic Economic Council says, we are a political organization, and our goal is to harmonize the economies of the United States and Europe. Nobody voted for the transnationals to be a political organization. Nobody voted for them to change and to integrate the two economies. This is a usurpation of power in the classical sense. So that is, I am trying to explain how now, in the absence of democracy, particularly internationally, the corporations see a terrific opening and they are rushing into it and filling that space as we speak.